Hi, welcome to episode 7 of the PassioKnit Spinner Podcast. My name is Tracy. You can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as Schnüffeltier, and I do have a sign that tells you how to spell that. Also, I did open a Ravelry group for this podcast. It's called the PassioKnit Spinner Podcast. And there is a blog where all the show notes can be found, and my mom really wants me to show this sign to you. This is the podcast blog's address. It's where you can find the podcast. Thank you so much for being here with me again this week. I think this is going to be super short because I don't have a lot to talk about because my work week was super crazy. And the next week will be the same, so there's not a whole lot of crafting going on. But first, let me talk about what I'm wearing. I'm wearing the Cloud Bolero. It was a free pattern by Isolde Teague a few years ago, but I think she took it down when she released her Liesel pattern, which is basically the same thing. And that's a paid-for pattern. I knit this a few years ago. Like I said, it's I don't know if you can really see it. It's a simple feather and fan pattern. And it's, I would say, my most worn finished object that I have. I love that thing. I don't know why, because it's not even my colors, but I just love it. And her patterns are amazing, so you should really go check it out. And the Liesel pattern is, like I said, exactly the same thing as the Cloud Bolero was, so go check that out. So, knitting in the past. Like I said, there was not a whole lot of knitting time this week, so I didn't knit a lot. But I managed to finish the dog sweater, and I have no idea how to show it to you. Down here I have the little legs, or the sleeves for the front legs of the dog. This is the neck, then it goes back to his, tail. And I did attach some kind of suspenders. It looks like this mess right now because my mom has a dog sweater already, and these little suspenders kind of things, you can hook them around the back legs and it stays on where it should stay on. I enjoyed the pattern. It was easy to do. Here you can see the sleeves a little bit better. I did modify it a lot because the pattern told you to basically not have any fabric that covers the belly of the dog, and it's just not what I wanted, so I changed that up and I did add the suspenders. As you can see, they're all the ends are all just dangling around because I decided to weave them in as soon as we tried the sweater on and it fits, because I don't like to rip out that thing at all. But when I have to rip out, I don't want to go looking for my ends. So I'm gonna fold it up so you can see the nice fabric that I got. I used Wollmeise, pure, in the Amazonas colorway. I knit the sweater on a US 2, which is a 2.75 millimeter needle. Yeah, like I said, I like it. I hope it will fit. It looks tiny to me, but as I know how big the dog is, I think it's huge because the dog is even tinier. So I hope it will be okay. And I have a ton of the yarn left. Still that much. And with Wollmeise, you always get 150 grams. So I think about knitting something else out of this. I'm not sure yet what, but I will use it. I'm gonna show you the tag, which is white, and white in my camera, don't work well together. I got it at her summer sale, which is why it says Unglücksrabe, because all of the yarn in the summer sale is declared as this one here, Unglücksrabe. But I know for sure it's the Amazonas colorway. That is all that I have finished this week, but I am knitting on some things. First off, I want to show you. Last week I showed all the patches for the baby blanket that I'm working on, and I decided to add in a cabled panel to go between the patches. This is what I have gotten so far. It's a nice light green, and with like a limey green. The pattern that I'm using is out of this book. It's Alice Starmore's Aran knitting book. And I'm going to show you the back because this is exactly what I'm doing. This is the St. Bridget pattern. It's one of my most favorite cabled patterns of all time. And this cable panel down here, this one here, is what I'm using for the blanket. I'm going to knit this until I run out of yarn, and we'll try to incorporate it somehow into the blanket. I'm using a 3.5mm needle. It's a Xiaogu, just some straights that I have. That's a US 4. The other thing that I'm working on is finally something for my baby. I don't know why, but I was not in the mood for knitting baby stuff so far. So I did start this project here when I found out that I was pregnant. I used a color that I hoped was, unisex enough, and gotten about halfway done and just was done with it. And here is the yarn that I'm using. It's Dropsfabel. It's a light blue with a lavender and beige and white. Dropsfabel is a normal sock yarn with the 75-25% camera. Hello? Ugh. Okay, I'm just gonna continue. So, it's a normal sock yarn makeup with the 75% superwash wool and 25% nylon. And I'm knitting the Pepita pattern by Martina Behm. Let's see. It focuses great up there. So, this is where I am right now. I finally started to separate for the legs. It's a top-down pattern. It's a free pattern, so I can absolutely talk about this. But baby knits are supposed to be quick, right? This thing has 190 stitches in the round, which takes forever. Gizmo, Gizmo. My cat just jumped on the table. Come. Gizmo. Okay, lay down. Great, now I have to go without my show notes because he just decided that it's the best place to lay down ever. So, I finally divided for the legs. Again, with sock yarn, I'm using a US 2 needle. I use Holz und Stein needles for this. And I'm happy with the outcome of this. I'm sure I will love the garment, but I don't like working on it at all. Come here. Come here. Say hi. And go. Abflug. So. Whew. So, that's my other work in progress, the Pepita pattern by Martina Behm. I hope to have it done soon because I really, really want to cast on the Baby Surprise Jacket by Elizabeth Zimmerman, but I don't want to have 25 different projects more on the needles because there are already a ton of things on my needles that I'm not working on. So, that's it for what I'm working on right now. So knitting in the future, I just mentioned I want to knit the Baby Surprise Jacket for my baby, and I'm going to knit a sweater for my husband with a large skull cable on front. My cat is doing something weird. There is a pattern by Alexander, or a sweater from Alexander McQueen. It's extremely expensive, but there's a cabled skull on front of it, and I'm going to knit that for my husband. Just the skull, and the rest will be plain stockinette. I hope to cast that on tomorrow. I will see if I can get to it or not. I'm not sure yet. That's it for knitting in the future. My spinning. I did spin a little bit. I spun up one yarn. It's this yarn here. As you can see, it's totally inconsistent because I tried doing long draw again, and I'm not good at long draw because this is only my second yarn that I spun long draw, so I don't expect it to be perfect. I spun this from Rolex that I got it from Fondant Fiber. I'm not sure if you can see that. Yes. Her shop is not on Etsy anymore. She has her own site by now for her business. But I got those from Etsy a few years ago, and I really, really enjoy spinning Rolex. I do have my own blending board by now and make my own Rolex, but I love spinning Fondant Fiber Rolex. The yarn that I got is 137 meters, which is about 150 yards, and it weighs 113 grams. I called it Luck of the Irish because it did not come with a name, which is the only thing that I didn't like about it, basically, because I love stuff that has names. I have no idea what I'm going to do with it, but I'm leaning towards knitting a hat that I'm going to line with a nice, maybe cashmere blend. But this is very, very soft, which is why I did spin it long draw. I wanted a soft and lofty yarn, and it's exactly what I got. So, finished spin. And then I started spinning something else because right now I'm in a want to spin everything mood, and I started spinning this one, or I finished spinning this one. The roving or the top that I used came from Sheepish Creations. It's a mixed BFL. What you cannot see on the bobbin right now is that it's a beautiful muted rainbow, but the layers, you just can't see the layers with a normal bobbin from my Sidekick. This is her card. sheepishcreations.etsy.com. She has amazing stuff, and this will be Navajo plied sometime this week, if I find the time to do that. So I'm also still working on the Three Waters Farm Cheerful Disposition yarn that I showed a few times now, but I did not want to break it, so I'm just going to show you the finished yarn hopefully next week or in 2 weeks. Now on to new stuff. There's not a whole lot to show. The only fibery thing that I got this week was a loop bat. Nah. I'm sure you all know Loop. It's one of her bullseye bumps. It's the salamander colorway, and it's made of merino, bamboo, and tussa silk. And I just had to buy it after I finished spinning my last loop bump, and it is just beautiful. I think when I hold it this way you can see all the colors. It's absolutely amazing. I'm gonna spin it again as a single. I think I might full it a little bit, and it will be a shawl of some sorts. But yeah, new loop bat. She also included, like she always does, some samples. They're just two tiny things of fiber to spin. I'm gonna use those for practicing my what's the word? Some kind of spindle spinning. I don't remember the word right now. It's not that important. And I did keep the business card to show it to you. That's the front with all the pretties, and that's the back with all the information. And yeah, I love my loop. It's amazing. to spin. It's just wow. The other things that I got were 2 books, because I love having my library of knitting patterns grow. So I ordered books from Hunter Hammerson. I have no idea how to say that, so I'm just going to show you. It's a book with, I think, 8 patterns for accessories. And it's 6 patterns. But here is the page where you can see all of them. And I got the book Curls, which I'm sure you heard about, because everyone is talking about this book right now, because it's a book for knitting shawls with any yarn at any gauge. I already decided which pattern to use first, but I think I'm gonna knit all of them because they are so beautiful. Trying to show you the page with all the patterns, or the pattern pictures. It's an amazing book. If you don't have it and you don't want to, buy the whole book, you can buy the patterns separately, I think, on Ravelry, and you can get it as an ebook version as well. And that is it for what's new. So, Indie of the Week. I do have an Indie of the Week this week, and it is Fondant Fiber, because I spun some of her stuff this week, and Fondant Fiber is in the UK, so it's, in the middle of Europe. And I brought my last set of Rolex that I have from her. Maybe that's a bit better. From Fondant Fiber, like I said before, they do not come with a name. But that totally looks like Hedwig from Harry Potter to me. I'm just going to show you 3 of them. Don't you think that looks like Hedwig? It's white with a little bit of brown. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to try another long draw experiment with them. But I think I will, because Rolex are just perfect for spinning long draw. And the other Rolex that I'm still working on from her right now are being spun on my spindles. This is a beautiful spindle from 3G Woodworks on Etsy. I love their spindles. They are so pretty and very well balanced and not that expensive. And I'm also spinning the Rolex on my Turkish spindle, or on one of my Turkish spindles. Yeah, I'm gonna show it like this. And I only have 4 more Rolex to spin up. They look like this. It's a nice green with a little bit of blue and yellow. I still have to name those because, like I said before, I like stuff to have names, and I think about calling them Mermaid, just because they remind me of a mermaid. So 4 more Rolex to go, and then I can ply this yarn and be done with that as well. So please go check out Fondant Fiber. I'm gonna link her shop in the show notes. And you can go and have a look. She does not only do Rolex, she also dyes fiber, and I think she dyes yarn as well. I'm not sure, because I was only interested in the Rolex. But her stuff is great. It spins like butter. It's amazing. And to be honest, that's it for this week. I don't have anything else to talk about except for work is hell this week and next week, and I have to stop this and go and grade 30 papers by Monday, because I only got them on Friday, so it's kind of, yeah, it's a lot of work, but it's okay. I hope you have a wonderful week. Whatever you do, enjoy it, and I'll talk to you again next week. Bye.